channel. I hope you are cozy, I hope you are comfortable, and I am really happy that you're here. So today I wanted to talk about something that I've been struggling with, I had been struggling with the beginning of this week and end of last week. I just feel like as the days are getting shorter and darker, everything just feels so slow and I feel lethargic, and it's just been a struggle. So on top of that, I've been, on top of work or whatever, I've been working on a portfolio, which I'm really excited about to share more about, but that will be another video. And the more I was working on it, the more I was just so dissatisfied with what I was doing. I couldn't come up with anything that felt good to me, so I just wanted to talk about creative blocks or artist blocks, or creative fatigue, whatever. I'm going to be using that term interchangeably throughout the video. But basically, an artist block or a creative block is when you just can't seem to come up with anything creative, or you're just really dissatisfied with the work that you're creating, or the longer you work on something, your drive for that project or that excitement just fades a little bit more. So this is my definition. If you want a more concrete definition, Google it. So creativity takes up a lot of brain power, so it's natural to feel exhausted sometimes, you know. It could come from pressures of deadline pressures, or working on a project that you're not necessarily 100% passionate about. And sometimes we take on projects just for money, and that's okay, because we gotta make a living too. I feel like as emerging artists, we tend to take on any opportunity that we can get, just to make connections, have something on our resume. The good thing about working as an artist is it's very project-based, so you know that it will come to an end. That could be very bittersweet, or it could be a great thing, but anyways, you're not stuck with something forever. And naturally, as you find your footing and you feel more comfortable, you can be more selective over the projects that you take on. And everything will fall into place, I assume. But even then, you may end up feeling like you've been working on a certain project for so long, that drive and motivation is just not there. I recently actually felt this with this mural that we're working on. It was super exciting to begin with. We got a lot done, and then maybe, I don't know, a few weeks go by of painting, and I was like, oh my god, it's never ending. But obviously, I'm still really excited about it, and coming back to it a week later, I was just as excited as I was the first week. So I just want you to know that this thing that happens, it happens to everybody. So it's not something that's inherently wrong with you, and you're not going to be stuck in this forever. You're going to get over this hump, and everything will be dandy again. So when I feel a creative block, I get really frustrated. I start doubting myself as an artist. It honestly does feel like the end of the world. I really turn against myself, but then when I show my work to other people, they're usually impressed, so that kind of gives me my groove back. This year in February, I did my first art showcase, and I didn't realize how big my panel was, so I was trying to pump out work just to have something up on the wall, and I just felt like I was just really dissatisfied with what I was creating. My first art showcase was with Raw Artists, so if you want me to talk more about my experience showcasing with them, comment below. I just remember at one point I was feeling like I shouldn't do this. I had so much imposter syndrome. I felt like I was going to lose a lot more money than I was putting in, which was kind of facts, but mostly because it was my first showcase, so I had to buy everything from start everything from scratch, like the table and the setup materials and the payment thingy. So everything I had to set up from the beginning, so it was costly. Anyways, but I'm glad I pushed through, because I ended up having enough artworks even without the ones I felt unhappy about, and I sold quite a few what I considered filler paintings. I had up just to take up space, honestly. So that showed me like I don't even have to vibe with my own work for other people to give me money for it. So basically what I'm saying is like it's not that serious. I did sell a ton of paintings and prints, but most importantly I got to talk about my work and my inspiration and meet people, which was a really rewarding experience for me as an emerging artist, especially for like my first showcase. It was amazing. So that night when that night ended, I felt like, oh, I am an artist. So how do we get over the creativity block? This is not in any order, but I find it really helpful to set aside time to create without any pressure. So this could include like brainstorming sessions. I'm just like going to spew out all of my ideas that I can think of, no judgment. Like any little idea, big idea, stupid idea, difficult idea, I'm going to put it down. You can set a timer, 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever you feel comfortable with. Just put it all out there. I use Canva to brainstorm. I like how their whiteboard zooms in and out and I can move things accordingly. I like how I can move things accordingly and then change layout, put themes together, like similar themes together. So it really helps to connect my really random, loose ideas into something more concrete and something that I could work with later on. So the idea is not to come up with anything solid, just throw ideas in there. I also do this with writing. I just write, just nonsense. Then I go back, after I step away from it, I go back and it starts making sense. Another thing that you could do is do some like creative exercise. Like if you are a writer, you can use prompts to write, you can use prompts to draw, you can draw patterns. I really like drawing patterns and doodling. I do this all the time and I find it's so cool that I've been more or less doodling the same things for the past couple of years, but I can clearly see like my hands are moving more comfortably and slowly my designs are becoming more intricate. And sometimes I'll doodle something by accident and I'll be like, oh, that's a good idea. I really like no pressure collaging because when you're collaging, you put pictures and words together that you may not necessarily think of, and when you do that, other ideas emerge from it, it builds on that, it builds on that, it builds on that. So really trust the process. Another thing that I like to do is go back through my old sketchbooks. I put a lot of ideas down in my sketchbook, and even if at the time it doesn't feel like a good idea, I'll notice through time that I'll naturally build on those ideas. So again, going back through my old work or sketchbook really helps my creative juices flowing. I've had ideas in my head that I'm still playing with, ideas that I've come up with or like started thinking about in my preteens. So like, take your time, it's not a race. I think when it comes to like your art, yes, it's nice to make money off of it. That's why I'm taking all these like skill building workshops for creatives and stuff like that, but you really have to feel like this is your art, you know? So that's really important. Another thing is bouncing your ideas off of other creative people. You can bounce it off of your friends, but I find that people who are artists or creatives, they know how to give good constructive feedback. So I just prefer that. So when we play with ideas in our head, it's kind of like an echo chamber, and when you're the only one contributing to those thoughts, you kind of get stuck in this you kind of get stuck, yeah. So there's really little room for trying new things or trying different things. So I find it really helpful to talk to my creative friends about projects that I'm working on, because it's a new perspective that like I wouldn't have thought of on my own. And it doesn't feel like, when it's only in your head, it doesn't feel new, it doesn't feel exciting, but when you share it and other people hear your ideas for the first time and hype you up, that just gets me going. Your close creative friends can help keep that idea alive and keep that hype alive, and it's great. This one is a hard one. Step away from it completely. So when I was struggling at the end of last week, beginning of this week, I stopped. I was like, I'm not gonna do art. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna like do other things that I need to do, but I'm not gonna do art. I found it really hard to tell myself not to do art right now, because if I'm not making art, am I an artist? So I'm currently working on a portfolio for grad school, and I'm really excited to share more about that, but it's so exhausting. And simultaneously, I've got 2 other art programs that are happening weekly, and I volunteer at an art program. So honestly, I just felt very arted out. So I made a conscious decision at the time to just not do any art, and the repercussions of being burnt out creatively is far worse than taking a break and stepping back for a couple of days. And given my deadlines, I think it is a better decision for me to like take a moment and focus on anything else but art right now. But of course, I still write down ideas when they come to me, and I've been helping out with writing some grant writing for a project, doing a lot of like decluttering and reorganizing my art space right now. So I'm still doing things related to art, but I'm not creating art. Or I wasn't creating art. I think I got back into the groove again. I stopped for like 3 days, and then I came back to it. I saw my work in a new light. I had more ideas, and I felt like I was back. So from this video, I hope that you can take away that having a creative block does not make you a bad artist. Period. Stepping away from your work doesn't mean you're abandoning your work. It doesn't make you a bad artist. In fact, it really helps you to see your art in a better light after coming back to it. I hope you can be more at ease moving forward when you experience these uncomfortable feelings, knowing that there will always be that natural ebb and flow of, passion, motivation, and creation, and it's all part of the process. Trust the process. I think it would be more helpful to focus on what we can do when we have these natural occurring but daunting thoughts than try not to have them at all, which is what I've addressed in this video. As artists, you are continually coming up with ideas and building upon them. Your life experience itself will add value to your work. You'll be incorporating feedback from other people, and you'll be thinking about ideas in new context. You're going to feel frustrated, but it's all part of the process, and it's all okay, and we're all here with you. Nothing is the end of the world, and opportunities come and go. So try your best, and the rest will follow. Thank you so much for listening to my blah blah blah. I really do enjoy talking to the camera. I've wanted to do this, have a YouTube channel since the invention of YouTube vlogging days. I'm really excited to grow slowly but surely, and I'm really excited to have you come along for the ride. I feel like I'm learning so much, and I feel like I have so much that I can give back. Anyways, so make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Leave any comments or questions, anything you want me to talk about. I do have a background in psychology, and I'm very knowledgeable in non-clinical mental health practices or general well-being, and let me know. So, see you next time.